platform. And her typeface of choice, Baskerville, was used for buttons and posters and auto stickers. And it was handsome, but it was heavy-handed. It really didn't quite make it. Of course, there were little exceptions to the rule, like Hillary Cares About Me, some handwritten face or cartoon bowl. Then we moved on to another candidate in the Republican Party, and it was he made use of Optima. So, and Optima, by the way, which was designed by Zapf, is probably my least favorite typeface in the whole universe. But John McCain and Sarah Palin used Optima to the fullest. So they used a bad typeface truly well. They also took other typefaces as well, like this Bikers for McCain belt buckle button. But for the most part, the way McCain set up his graphics, and he didn't do it, of course, it was an advertising agency that did it, they wanted to make it clear that he was a military hero. So you inject the star, you have the rules fanning out from the star. The star, of course, can be a logo for McCain. Of course, he wasn't a general, but a star is suitable for the military. And he picked a blue and a white and a yellow, which is unusual for a presidential candidate as accent. When Sarah Palin, who you doubtless will hear more about in the next few years, was selected as the vice presidential candidate, some very clever person came up with this button using the Republican pachyderm, and it's a girl, pink. Actually, I think this is one of the best buttons of the entire campaign. But McCain appealed to, whereas Obama appealed to intellectuals like all of us, McCain appealed to sportsmen and shooters and fishermen and other people of that ilk. I like the cleverness here. Dizajner had to have taken part in this one. The great American hero. And of course, if you can see it there, the dot above the I is an MC for McCain. And then Asian and Pacific Americans for McCain because they live in the sun and orange is sun. But now, change at last. Barack Obama, his people had the good sense to use a very contemporary typeface. It wasn't Futura, it wasn't Helvetica, it was Gotham, an American sans serif typeface, designed by Tobias Frere Jones. So Gotham and the blue that you see here is what we call Obama blue. Now, I was telling somebody a moment ago, if Obama loses in the next 3 years, Obama blue won't exist anymore. But for now, it was the color, the blue of hope. Now, I'm going to show you just some iterations. There were a number of people who worked on the Obama campaign. There were people who worked on the logo. There were people who worked on the website. There were people who worked on the campaign graphics, trying to unify it so that actually any time Obama got up before a crowd, there was a unity of graphic achievement. And these are sketches from a studio called Simple Scott, and they were responsible for most of the Obama typographics. And they went through a variety of iterations, not all of them pleasing to the eye, not all of them as good as what they came up with, but everything was tried. Of course, Obama's O was a terrific point of departure because it also represented the O in the date 08. This is David Axelrod, who was responsible for bringing all of the Obama propaganda together. He brought the designers and the sloganeers into one room and made the designers as important to the process as anybody else on the team of the Obama campaign, which is novel for these kinds of campaigns. When they realized they needed a logo, actually George Bush had a W. That was his logo during the 2000 campaign and then the 2004 campaign. If you turned it upside down, it was an M, and Mussolini's logo was an M. So they tried different ways of using the zero as an O. And they were coming close to finding the right answer until they stumbled upon this, which derives from this. And so they didn't always use the Gotham, but there was always a sense of elegance to this campaign. There was always a sense that somebody actually was paying attention. This one, of course, has the almost horizontal use of the stripes, which, of course, represents the landscape. But to make it really work, to make it really mnemonic, they slanted it. They sent it towards a horizon line, off in the distance, so that it was the O with the landscape. The landscape has endless possibilities. The O within the O, or within the sky, is the sun. So there you have Obama rising up over the landscape. There are so many messages packed into this one identifying mark. And here's some more sketches. I always like to see the sketches. In fact, I'm doing a book on sketchbooks. What really sold Obama, in addition to all of these graphics, which made an impression on the evening news, cameras were attracted to the graphics as much as they were to his winning smile. And there is a lot of Hollywood involved in political campaigning. And what you can do to capture that camera and then to make love to the camera lens, you do, as a matter of course. But the outreach, the thing that really made a difference for Obama and the people who supported Obama and the networks of people was Obama's web. It was designed by Simple Scott. And his pet. And what he decided was necessary was the consistency. Whatever was on the web had to be in real life. Whatever was in real life had to appear on the evening news. So what you see is wherever Obama went, there was an advanced group of people that would set up the graphics, particularly the podium graphics. For every state that Obama campaigned in, there was graphic materials that represented that state. For every demonstration, for every conference, for every convention, there were graphics that made the statement. And then, of course, there was the website itself. It was an easily navigatable website. It gave you news. It brought people into a social network. It provided a variety of entry points for different parts of the country. And if you wanted to take part in the campaign, as so many people did on a grassroots level, it engaged you. This is the Venn diagram that shows how all these things were going to work out. And again, they were done very deliberately, although some things look very ad hoc or just put together. And what they were doing in creating this graphic was exactly what this quote says. We were truly building an aeroplane while in flight.